everyone, and welcome to another episode of Aligned Heart. This is Misty Springer, and I am here talking about the power of discernment and listening to your body's yes and your body's no. Have you ever had that experience where you needed to make a decision and you weren't really sure? Maybe there was some confusion or doubt or overwhelm in the decision, and you were stuck in this feeling of indecision, stuck in not knowing which was the right way to go, maybe feeling like if you made the wrong choice, it was going to hurt someone else or hurt you. And that can be a really immobilizing place to be. And so today we're going to be talking about how to use discernment and listen to your body's wisdom in a way of determining what is your true yes. And I'm sure you all have heard the quote, if it's not a full body yes, it's a no. And so how do we tap into that? How do we listen to feel and trust the nudge, to trust the yes in our heart, even if it doesn't make full sense in our brain? And what we're going to be talking about is discernment as a skill, listening to your body and your heart instead of your mind. And that takes practice. It's a skill. We are used to having a checklist. We're used to having like a list of rules of do's and don'ts to determine what feels right and what feels wrong. And it's like, yes, I'm do this, or no, don't do that. And we tend to fall back on those rules as a safety net, like, oh, I'm making the right decision. It's why we look to comparison. How is she doing it? What are they doing? That comparison can feel like a rule of I'm doing it right. Someone else just tell me what to do. Sometimes we look to other people as that validation for our right or wrong. And that can be a slippery slope. It can be somebody else's right, but not necessarily right for you. Or we look to the experts, the podcasts, the books. We have someone else just tell me what to do and I'll do it. That implies someone else knows better than me. The problem with all of those is that we're not trusting our own internal wisdom and our own internal compass. It's giving our power away to our best friend, to the podcast, to the expert. And in that process of giving our power away, we wonder why we're left feeling powerless. And we have a tool that we can use in our own body and in our own heart to make decisions, to access our own yes and our own no within our body. And in the meditation that's accompanying this, I'm going to take you through a practice where you're going to get really familiar with what your yes and what your no feels like in your body. I've used this with multiple clients. It's been invaluable as they move forward in making a decision, because when you can learn to understand the language of your body and how your yes and your no communicates with you in your body and in your heart, when you can learn to listen to the language of your body and your heart, then you can start to trust it. It's like learning another language. As you start to learn the language and to be immersed in the culture and the language of another country, you feel more confident, you feel more purposeful, you're able to communicate better with the people around you. It's the same thing with listening and communicating with the language of our body and our heart. It takes practice and it takes time to get to know how to communicate with that part of us, because we're very comfortable and very used to listening to the language of our mind, which is our thoughts. The language of our mind speaks in words and sentences and thoughts, and we're very used to communicating in that way. The language of the body communicates very differently. The language of the body communicates through some sensations and symptoms and feelings. The language of the heart communicates through beliefs and an inner knowing. that is even deeper than a sensation in the body. It's a sense of trust and knowing that goes beyond logic. Think about a time when you made a big decision that defied logic. For us, it was a decision to move to North Carolina. My husband and I decided we wanted to move across country when our kids were young, and we wanted to have an East Coast adventure just as our little family. And so he had interviewed at several different companies, and he had two job offers, one in North Carolina and one in Tennessee. And we wrote everything out, all the pros and cons, all like wrote it out on a piece of paper, even labeled each one with a number value on how important that particular item was for us. And we weighed both options. And the job in Tennessee on paper was right. That was the right one on paper. It made more sense logically to move there. But when we prayed about it and when we dropped into our body and heart, the job in North Carolina was the yes. It was the full body yes. And so we ended up moving to North Carolina, even though Tennessee on paper was the more logical option. I want you to think about other times that maybe you've had that experience where you trusted the yes in your body and your heart more than your logical mind. And what that did for you, what opened up for you as you trusted that yes in your body and your heart. That's what we're going to be talking about and exploring today. And that's what we're going to be practicing in the meditation that accompanies this, because as you start to feel into that, you're going to be able to learn the language of your body and your heart and trust it so that it can help you make the decisions that are important to you. So I just met with a client, and she is creating from the energy of yes in her body. She was talking about how it feels so different to be creating without having a problem. There's no problem to fix. I just want to grow. I just want to create. I just want to step into this next version of me. And it feels like I should justify it in some way. She's having a hard time communicating it to her husband in a way that makes sense, because if you go to a doctor with a broken arm, it's really easy to say, fix this. But if you're going to the doctor and saying, I just want to feel my best, I don't feel bad, I just want to feel my best, that's elusive. That requires trust. It requires stepping into a knowing that there is something better without having a problem to fix. It's sitting in front of a blank canvas and saying, I trust that what comes through is going to be beautiful. That just being in the creation and the creative process is why I'm here. That creating my life and the best version of me is the most important work that I can be doing. That is not selfish at all. It allows me to show up as the best version of me in my work, in my marriage, as a mom, in my church community. That showing up as the best version of me is exactly what God wants for me. And that there's nothing selfish about it, and there's nothing that needs to be fixed. I just get to grow. I just get to sit in front of that blank canvas and see how God works through me and be a part of this co-creation process, because it's beautiful. Because what comes through me and is created between me and God is powerful and valuable and worthy. And stepping into the dark, having to sit in front of that blank canvas without knowing exactly what's coming through is scary. It's letting go of the rules. It's letting go of it should look like this and allowing it just to be a creative process and be okay with that. And that's exactly how it's designed to be. Because in that process of trusting the yes, trusting stepping into that co-creative process, is there is an inherent trust that I am trusting my intuition, I'm trusting my connection with God, I'm trusting myself. There's a beautiful process of building that belief of self-trust, trust in God, and trust in the co-creative process that can't come in any other way. If I'm stepping into knowing exactly what's next, I'm stepping into someone else's plan. I'm stepping into someone else's creative idea. If I want to be a leader and create my life in co-creation with God, I have to step into the dark. I have to sit in front of that blank canvas without knowing what's next. I have to be willing to sit in the discomfort of not knowing and justify being here because it feels right, because my body is saying yes. And then I follow those breadcrumbs of yes in creating who it is that I am designed to be. That's the power of co-creation. That's the power of following the yes, following the breadcrumbs of yes. And that's the power of being able to listen to your body and heart, to understand the language of your body and heart, so you can discern what is yes and what is no. So we're going to be talking about that in the meditation that accompanies this. I'm going to take you into a process of understanding and feeling into that yes and into that no, so that you can use this discernment in whatever decisions you have coming up that feel important to you. So thanks all for being here. As always, it's such a pleasure to join with you in exploring all the aspects of becoming the very best version of yourself, showing up as the woman or the man in your heart you are designed by God to be. If this resonates in any way, shape, or form, or you know of someone who would benefit from this, please share. We're always better together, and I appreciate any feedback you have to share. Always look forward to hearing from you. Thanks all. We'll see you in the next meditation, discerning and tuning in to listening to your body's yes and no.